Someone is lying. Someone is hiding the truth. And after months of suspicion, fear, accusations, and secrets, the walls are finally beginning to close in. Because Coronation Street is about to take viewers back to the night Theo Silverton died. The night that changed everything. The night that left a killer walking free. And if the latest spoilers are anything to go by, the truth could destroy multiple lives at once. For weeks, fans have been asking the same question. Who killed Theo? Was it Summer? Was it Gary? Was it Todd? Or has the real killer been hiding in plain sight all along? Now a special episode promises to reveal what really happened. But before those answers arrive, a dangerous game is about to unfold. And the man pulling the strings appears to be Kit Green. At first, everything seems ordinary. Sarah cancels plans. Kit notices. Brody makes a joke. But then one tiny moment changes everything. Maria overhears the conversation. And suddenly her suspicions start racing. Because for weeks there have been whispers. Whispers about Sarah. Whispers about Gary. Whispers that refuse to go away. An affair. A betrayal. A secret relationship hidden behind closed doors. But what if that's not the real secret? What if the affair rumors are simply distracting everyone from something much darker? And that's exactly where things become unsettling. Because Kit doesn't appear interested in stopping the rumors. If anything, he seems determined to encourage them. And that raises a chilling question. What exactly is Kit trying to achieve? Is he searching for the truth? Or is he setting a trap? Because what happens next feels far too deliberate to be a coincidence. Sarah invites Todd and Summer to dinner. An innocent gesture. Or so it appears. But when Kit hears the invitation, his reaction is immediate. He expands the guest list. Gary, Maria, everyone. Suddenly, a simple dinner becomes something far more dangerous. A pressure cooker. A battlefield. A stage where secrets may finally explode into the open. And that's when alarm bells start ringing. Gary freezes. Sarah freezes. Neither seems comfortable. Neither seems pleased. Both look like people carrying a burden. A burden they desperately don't want exposed. But what exactly are they hiding? An affair? A cover-up? Or the truth about Theo's final moments? As the evening approaches, tension begins building from every direction. Maria arrives carrying suspicion. Gary arrives carrying secrets. Todd arrives carrying grief. Summer arrives carrying trauma. And Kit arrives carrying an agenda. The ingredients for disaster are all there. Nobody knows it yet. But the evening is heading towards catastrophe. Because beneath the small talk and forced smiles, old wounds are already reopening. Maria can't hide her resentment towards Sarah. The hostility is obvious. Every comment feels loaded. Every glance feels suspicious. Every conversation feels like a test. Meanwhile, Kit keeps trying to isolate Gary, pulling him aside, making pointed remarks, mentioning lies, mentioning deception, mentioning people who aren't telling the whole truth. And Gary notices. Of course he notices. Because Gary knows exactly what it feels like when someone is hunting for answers. The problem is, Gary also has a long history of hiding dangerous truths, which makes every interaction feel explosive. The atmosphere becomes unbearable. And then everything changes. Because just when it seems things couldn't become more uncomfortable, Maria detonates a bombshell. In front of everyone. Without warning. Without hesitation. She stands and accuses Gary and Sarah of having an affair. The room falls silent. Shock spreads across every face. And suddenly nobody is thinking about dinner anymore. Nobody is thinking about small talk. Everyone is staring at Gary. Everyone is staring at Sarah. Waiting. Watching, judging, looking for any sign that the accusation might be true. And perhaps most importantly, looking for signs that something even bigger is being hidden. Because the accusation doesn't just threaten a marriage. It threatens to expose every secret connected to Theo's murder. And that's when the real mystery begins. What follows isn't simply an argument. It's a chain reaction. A devastating collision between suspicion, guilt, and fear. Because flashbacks start pulling viewers back to the night Theo died. The night everything changed. The night somebody crossed a line. For months, viewers have been forced to piece together fragments. A witness here. A clue there. A suspicious conversation. A missing piece of evidence. A story that never quite added up. But now those fragments begin forming a picture. And it's terrifying. Because every flashback reveals another layer. Another secret. Another possible motive. Another reason someone may have wanted Theo gone forever. What makes this especially chilling is that nobody appears completely innocent. Everyone has something to hide. Everyone has reasons to lie. Everyone seems trapped by their own version of events. And that's exactly what makes the mystery so compelling. Because each revelation creates another question. If Gary isn't the killer, why has he acted so suspiciously? If Sarah isn't hiding something, why is she so terrified? If Summer is innocent, why does evidence keep pointing towards her? And if the answers seem obvious, why do they never stay obvious for long? But the emotional fallout doesn't end there. Because while the murder mystery dominates attention, another devastating story is quietly unfolding. Todd Grimshaw is breaking. And the signs are becoming impossible to ignore. For months, Todd has been carrying enormous emotional weight. The loss. The accusations. The uncertainty. The fear that Summer could spend years behind bars for a crime she insists she didn't commit. It's crushing him. And eventually, the pressure becomes too much. Later in the week, Todd reaches his breaking point. The brave face disappears. The strength disappears. The mask finally slips. And in heartbreaking scenes, Todd breaks down in tears. Not because he has all the answers, but because he has none. He admits he's never felt so lonely. Think about that for a moment. Surrounded by people. Surrounded by friends. Yet completely alone. It's a devastating confession. One that reveals just how deeply Theo's death has affected everyone involved. Because murder mysteries don't only create suspects. They create victims long after the crime itself. George and Christina try to comfort him. They encourage him to move back home. To stop facing everything alone. But whether emotional support can fix the damage already done remains uncertain. And uncertainty seems to be the theme of every storyline right now. Because while Todd struggles emotionally, Sarah begins spiraling in another direction. The dinner party fallout continues. The accusations linger. The tension refuses to disappear. And eventually Sarah turns to alcohol. Perhaps to escape. Perhaps to forget. Perhaps because the truth is becoming impossible to carry. Nick and David quickly notice her condition. Concern replaces curiosity. Because Sarah isn't acting like someone dealing with simple relationship drama. She's acting like someone terrified. Someone overwhelmed. Someone carrying knowledge she wishes she didn't have. And then comes another unexpected twist. One tiny comment. One accidental mistake. One detail that could change everything. Jody mentions David the dog barking during the night Sarah was attacked. The problem? Nobody remembers telling Jody that detail. Sarah immediately notices. Immediately becomes suspicious. Immediately starts wondering how Jody could possibly know something she shouldn't. And just like that, another mystery is born. Another possible secret emerges. Another layer gets added to an already complicated puzzle. Because in Coronation Street, the smallest details often become the most important. The throwaway comments. The accidental slips. The moments nobody notices until it's too late. And viewers are already asking the obvious question. What does Jody know? How much does she know? And could she unknowingly hold a crucial piece of the Theo murder mystery? But perhaps the biggest revelation is still to come. Because despite all the affair accusations, despite all the emotional breakdowns, despite all the finger-pointing, one truth continues haunting Weatherfield. Theo's killer is still out there. The flashbacks are coming. The answers are coming. But every answer seems destined to create even bigger questions. And that may be exactly what makes this storyline so dangerous. Because the closer people get to the truth, the more desperate they become. The more frightened they become. The more likely they are to make mistakes. Mistakes that could expose everything. Mistakes that could ruin lives. Mistakes that could finally reveal who really killed Theo Silverton. But if one thing is becoming clear, the affair rumors may be the least important secret in the room. Because somewhere beneath the lies, beneath the accusations, beneath the betrayals, the truth is waiting. And when the flashbacks finally reveal what happened on that deadly night, Weatherfield could be changed forever. Because blood has already been spilled. Trust has already been shattered. And if the wrong secret comes to light, the consequences may be far more devastating than anyone imagined. The real question is no longer who is hiding something. The real question is, who will survive the truth when it finally arrives?